Hello, I'm Virginia, and this is a moving meditation. This is the very first one we're doing. And so today's topic is to be still. This little devotion will take 10 minutes or less, and all you really need is your mat, maybe a blanket, and maybe a journal, because there'll be some journaling questions at the end that you can answer if you want to. And so we'll just start out. Once you can kind of grab whatever it is you need, we'll just start out in a comfortable seat. I'm sitting on my yoga blanket right now to lift my hips just a little bit. But however you're comfortable, we'll just start by starting with the breath. And so if you're comfortable, go ahead and close your eyes and slow the breath down. And we'll start with a breath prayer, which is simply saying on the inhale, I am still. So breathing in, I am still. And then exhaling, I am listening. So breathing in, I am still. And exhaling, I am listening. I am still. I am listening. Allowing the breath to slow down. Softening the gaze or closing the eyes if you're comfortable. Notice as you're sitting here, are your shoulders tense? Relax the shoulders. Notice any places in the body where you're holding tension. Relax those areas. Breathing in, I am still. Exhaling, I am listening. Keep breathing with the breath prayer. Keep releasing tension. And I'm going to read from Psalm 37, verse 7, which is our scripture for our Lectio today. Be still before the Lord and wait patiently for him. Fret not yourself over the one who prospers in his way, over the man who carries out evil devices. Refrain from anger and forsake wrath. Fret not yourself, it tends only to evil. For the evildoer shall be cut off, but those who wait for the Lord shall inherit the land. So as I read that verse, was there anything that stood out to you? It's okay if there wasn't. But just reflecting on being still and waiting on the Lord. Ask the Lord to give you understanding. Inhaling, I am still. Exhaling, I am listening. Our posture for today is going to be waterfall or legs up the wall, depending on how your space is configured. So if you want to do legs up the wall, you'll need to kind of scoot over to a wall. I only have this handy bookcase over here, so I'll demonstrate quickly. Remove my blanket. You kind of need to scoot over to the side. And just as gracefully as possible, scoot up to your wall or your bookcase and put your legs up. If you don't have a wall, you can bring the legs up like so, and that's called waterfall. And so go ahead and bring yourself into your legs up the wall. legs up the bookcase, or waterfall. You could also simply lay on your mat with your knees bent and knocked together. Settle in. Breathing in, I am still. Exhaling, I am listening. Keep the breath prayer going. I'm going to read the scripture again. Be still before the Lord and wait patiently for him. Fret not yourself over the one who prospers in his way, over the man who carries out evil devices. Refrain from anger and forsake wrath. Fret not yourself, it tends only to evil. For the evildoer shall be cut off, but those who wait for the Lord shall inherit the land. So as you're laying here in your legs up the wall or waterfall, continue to reflect on that verse and any parts that stood out for you, and ask the Lord for understanding. If your mind wanders while we're here, you can always return to the breath prayer, inhaling, I am still, exhaling, I am listening. Another minute or so here. Inhaling, I am still. Exhaling, I am listening. Contemplating, reflecting on any part of that verse that stood out to you. Last breath, breathing in. I am still. Exhaling, I am listening. Now slowly and as gracefully as possible, bring yourself out of waterfall, the legs up the wall. And our next posture is going to be child's pose. That's our counter posture. So, my correction, we're going to go into Shavasana. So just laying yourself down on the mat. If you had a blanket, you can use the blanket under the knees or behind the head. You can basically get comfortable. Laying back into Shavasana. Snuggling the shoulders up under the body. Letting the feet splay out. Palms up or down, whichever feels best. Take a breath in. I am still. Exhaling. I am listening. We'll be here for a few minutes. I'm going to read the scripture to you again. So stay in Shavasana. Close down the eyes if you're comfortable. Be still before the Lord and wait patiently for him. Fret not yourself over the one who prospers in his way, over the man who carries out evil devices. Refrain from anger and forsake wrath. Fret not yourself, it tends only to evil. For the evildoer shall be cut off, but those who wait for the Lord shall inherit the land. So again, as you're laying there in Shavasana, reflecting on this verse, Psalm 37, I actually read verses 7 through 9. Just rest in God's presence. I'll be quiet. Sit still with God and listen. If you want to pause the video, you can stay here as long as you like, or gently return to a seated posture. And we'll take one final breath together, whether seated or lying down. Breathing in. I am still. Exhaling. I am listening. Thank you for doing this short devotional with me. In the description, I'll have questions for you to contemplate if you want to journal those. It's always nice to end a Lectio Divina with that contemplation and maybe writing down what you may have heard or what came to you during your reflection. And with that, I will say thank you and goodbye.